All right, so we're going to very quickly review order of operations because we have to undo that when we solve. So, order of operations, okay, when you're solving equations, you're going to go backwards. Okay, you're going to undo it. A lot of students are really good with, and by the way, if you're like, what's GEMDOS? Just the P is not the only grouping symbol. So you guys are used to the word PEMDAS, right? Most of you. Hopefully in Algebra 1, your teacher showed you that GEMDOS is a little better because G means all grouping symbols, not just parentheses. You're in high school, so we have more than just parentheses. Okay, so we have to undo that when we're solving. Okay? We have to undo that. Normally, with GEMDOS, when you're simplifying, you go from left to right and you go in that direction. That is when you simplify. We're not going to simplify today. We are going to solve. So when we solve, 9 times out of 10, you're starting with addition and subtraction, and you're going to be working backwards. Okay, so this would be solving. Normally, we end with addition and subtraction, but when we're solving, we have to undo that first before we can get the variable by itself. So our job is to isolate your variable, the letter. Easy breezy. Here's what I like to tell you, and it's going to sound a little kindergarten, but it works. Do you see the 2x right there? Let's put a fence around it. You can't touch that until you get rid of 3. Put a fence around that. Fences are boundaries, right? Fences keep you in or keep you out of things. So put a fence around your 2x. What is the opposite of 3? Fantastic. -3. I'm going to put a -3 under there and a -3 under here. Let me blow this up a little bit more because I can move my paper around. Is that a little better? Okay. These 2 3's right here, they make 0. Do you guys agree? So on the left, you're left with 2x. You're going to bring down the equal sign. Don't leave that off. I have students that always leave the equal sign off, and then they totally mess up everything. What is 7 minus 3? 4. Okay, now it's invisible, but there's a little dot right here, which means multiplication. So we started right here. Subtract. I want you to write that down. We started with subtraction. See how we're going backwards? Sometimes we add, sometimes we subtract. Now, this is multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? So I want you to write the word divide. So we're going to put 2 and 2, just like that. Does that look familiar? 2 divided by 2 is a 1. So I have x, bring down the equal sign. And what is 4 divided by 2? 2. That's your answer. Pretty easy, right? 2 steps. That's all you had to do was 2 steps on that one. Now this one is going to require an extra step. Okay, I want you to notice that we've got variables on the left and variables on the right. Who in here has a sibling? Raise your hand. Okay, siblings. You have one that's older and one that's not older, right? You have a big one and a small one. So, isn't the older sibling always in charge? Yeah. So, if these are siblings, just take, go with me here. Which one's bigger? The 3 is bigger. So I have to move my 2x to the other side of the equation. The big sibling is going to pull the little sibling along. Okay? What's the opposite of 2x? Or, yeah, negative 2x. Positive 2x. So write it down under there and write it down under the 3x. And out here, I want you to write the word add. We're reminding our brain what we're doing. These are going to become 0. And then I have a 3 and an equal sign. The negative 7 is also going to get rewritten. I haven't touched the negative 7 yet. So what is 3 plus 2? How many x's is that? 5. There we go. Okay, now, looks like the previous equation, right? So put a fence around your 5x. What do you need for here? What's the opposite of negative 7? Positive 7. Okay, so we're going to end up adding again. The 7's make 0. You have 5x. And what is 3 plus 7? 10. Everybody okay? Am I going too fast? All right. 5 times x equals 10. How do you undo multiplication? Right, divide out here. So we're going to divide by 5. And x is equal to what number? 2. Very good. Okay, how were those? Yeah? Okay. Let's try a different one. Anybody know what these parentheses mean? Ooh, that means multiplication. We like to call it distributive property. I'm going to have you write, oops, I need to spell correctly. Distribute. Okay, I want you to write distribute. Right out there. What does that mean? You take your 2 and multiply it by x. You take your 2 again, and you multiply it by the 2. You have to multiply it by both items in your parentheses. So 2 times x is 2x. And what is 2 times 2? 4. So you got this one done and this one done. Double check that you did both terms before you move on, and then that equals 8. Oh, now it looks like that first equation we did a minute ago. Okay, put a fence around your 2x. What is the opposite of 4? We're going to write negative 4 under both of those, which means what are we doing? Great, we are subtracting. Okay, 4 and negative 4 make 0. Bring down your 2x, bring down your equals. What is 8 take away 4? 4. Oh, look what we're dividing by again. Just like in the previous example up here. What are we dividing by? 2. So we're going to divide by 2, but out here to the side, I want you to write divide. Okay, we're training our brain. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. How was that? Are these okay? Yeah. Do these feel familiar to you? All right. Have I done anything crazy? Yes? No. Okay. Now, over here, grab a highlighter. In number 2 up here, I didn't do it, but do you see how I have x's on both sides? I didn't highlight them at the time. Okay? Look right here. I have 2 x's sitting right there, and I have 4 x's sitting right there. I have to combine those. So I want you to highlight them, and then I want you to write the word combine out here to the side, because you have to combine like terms. Yeah? So we have 15. Just write it down. I haven't done anything with it yet. Okay, now let's combine these. 2 plus 4. So 6x equal sign 45 and 8x. Okay, who's older? 8 or 6? Okay, so we're going to be moving this 6x over there. What's the opposite of 6? negative 6x. Please don't leave the x off. And I'm going to do that same thing over here, like terms. So we are subtracting. Six x, take away 6x is 0. You're left with 15. Equal sign, 45. And then what's 8? Take away 6. 2x. I think the author of this page likes 2x to be the end question, the end step. Okay, put a fence around your 2x. You can't touch it. You have to get rid of 45. 45 has that little invisible positive in front of it. What's the opposite of 45? Negative 45. So I'm going to put that on both sides. Do you see how I'm going back and forth like volleyball? Like tennis? Like pickleball? Like I'm back and forth, back and, oh, like a swing. You know, I could go on all day, right? So we're technically subtracting, right? Okay, 45, take away 45 is 0. So equals, on the right, we have 2x. What is 15? And if you take away 45, what? Negative 30. Okay, what is our very last step? We've done it a lot. Divide by 2. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so my x value is equal to what number? There we go. How was that? When you have a lot of stuff on one side or both sides, highlight the things that look alike. Both of these terms have variables. Okay? If you want to, then you can continue like, oh, I've got to combine those. Like you could carry the highlighting through the question. Okay, this one. These two look scary, but they're not. I need a thing of water. Sorry. Put an X. Put a fence around your X. Okay, so what is the opposite of negative 1? Put a plus 1 there, put a plus 1 there. What are we doing? We're adding. Okay. Those make 0. Bring down your x divided by 2. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. This bar right here, it means division is happening. What is the opposite of division? We're going to put multiplying by 2 over here, multiplying by 2 over here, and I want you to write the word multiply out here. Again, we're training our brain. These two are going to reduce to 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm just left with x and the equal sign. And then what's 5 times 2? Okay. There we go. And then finally over here. Now, do you see the division bar? Put a fence around that x. You can't do anything with that yet. You actually have to get rid of your 2 first. What is the opposite of dividing by 2? Okay, so we can multiply by 2 on both sides. I have seen some students recently, they'll do it correct over here, and then on this side, they'll forget to do it on the other side. Write the word multiply out to the side. So these notes will come in handy when you're working. You'll literally have the step written out to the side. These two 2's reduce to 1. So you're left with x minus 1. That can come out of that little fence there. What is 4 times 2? 8. Okay. Now this x, what's the opposite of negative 1? Okay, so we're going to write the word add out here to the side. -1 plus 1 is 0, so you are left with x on the left. That's it. And 8 plus 1 is 9. Very, very nice. Okay? I strongly suggest today that you write the words that I wrote in red, like write those out when you're working the questions. It really does help. And you don't have to do it forever. Just do it in the beginning until you're absolutely 100% sure that you are working these correctly. So do you see how we started here with subtraction and addition for most of them, and we worked this way? We went backwards. And that's what you do when you solve. So we have to use these skills for today's geometry part. Okay, let's go to the next page. Now the geometry begins. Okay. All right. Segment, addition, postulate. I want you to remember back early in the year when we talked about a postulate. A postulate is a truth that you don't have to prove to anybody. Okay? So let me ask you a question. I'm going to write this down. Little plus little, or actually let's do it this way. How about we do this? Part plus part equals whole. Do you agree with that? Part of a cookie, the other part of the cookie, you got the whole cookie, right? Part of $1, the other part of $1, you get the whole dollar. Pizza, part of a pizza, right? The other part of the pizza, you get the whole pizza. You can kind of visualize those things in your mind. Okay, well, what if I wanted to find, oh, let me back up. If you are looking for the whole, you need the entire thing, you add, right? Gonna add them together. Does that make sense? If I add two parts together, do I get a whole? Yes. What if I have the whole thing and a part, and I need to find the other part? What do you do? What's the opposite of addition? If you know the whole thing and you know a part, you can subtract and you will get the other part. Okay? So this is something you can refer back to. This is a generic template. All right. So, here we go. Segment, addition, postulate. Let's do this. If B, write a big B, capital B, because these are points. If point B is between AC, please put the segment notation on top because we're talking about a segment. Then, okay, and let's draw that before we write out the rest of the sentence. I want you to draw a big segment. And I want you to put A on one end, C on another end. And then I don't care where, it just says between. It doesn't say in the middle, doesn't say halfway, doesn't say 3/4. It just says in between. So you can put it anywhere on the line. Put a capital B. Anywhere on the line between A and C. So that's that word between. There's not a specific location. Okay, so if B is between AC, then that means this part here, AB, and if I add it to BC, what do you think I get? I'm going to get A to C. So AB plus BC equals the whole way. This is your part. This is a part. This is the whole thing. Okay? You can also highlight the pieces. Okay? Anything you can do to color code in this lesson, I would do it. It'll help make sense of what you're trying to do. There we go. Sorry about that. Now that's the word between. Now let's shift gears for a minute. Let's talk about this word midpoint. What do you think mid stands for? Middle. The middle point divides the segment into two congruent, write the symbol for congruent above that, looks like that, into two congruent segments. That means that the two segments created have equal lengths. When you measure them, they're the same size. Okay? So, over here, I want you to draw AC again. And then eyeball where you think the middle is, like to the best of your ability. So A, and then B is in the middle, bless you. And then C on the end, just like that. Now, to indicate that this is a midpoint, there's a special notation that you have to do to let your reader know that that's a midpoint. You put a little slash here and a little slash there. Those are called tick marks, and that's what we use to show that something is equal to something else. Okay? So, color coding again. The AB part and the CB part. I want you to write this down. AB is equal to BC. I'm sorry, put a little congruence in. They're congruent. This is when you're talking about them. Okay? So this means congruent. Now, when you actually want to start talking about numbers, if you want to start talking about the actual math that you're going to put in there, you write an equal sign. Okay? And typically the segment bar goes away, but if you need the segment bar to help you keep things straight, you can go ahead and keep that up there. Okay. Measure the length. All right? So really and truly, we don't put the symbol on top when we're talking about the length. However, if you need to do this so that you don't forget what you're talking about, you can do that, and I'll let that slide. Just know that you don't always see that when you're talking about the numbers. Okay, so we're going to write a congruency statement. Just like we did up here, we're going to say AB, okay, plus BC we're going to write congruent, and then we're going to put AC like that. Right now I'm just writing in geometry, correct? Have I done any math? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm doing math, but have I done any numbers? No, I'm just writing some geometry sentences. Okay, when we actually get to the number part, so this, okay, is the geometry. That's the thinking behind it. All right, here we go. AB plus BC equals AC. Oh, it looks just like we did a minute ago. Okay, here's the deal. Do you see this statement right here? And do you see this statement right here? When you're actually working a question today, you will be writing those before you put numbers in. Same thing up here, all right? You will be writing a statement that looks like that before you are allowed to put the numbers in. That way you know where the numbers go. Okay, here we go. We're going to do some examples together. Are you ready? Now, we're in luck. There's a picture already drawn for us. All right, it says if SK, pick a color, doesn't matter what color. SK, I'm going to put that there, KY, I'm going to do that, and then the whole thing. You can do the whole thing on top or the whole thing on the bottom. I don't really care. But just, and you can leave your highlighters uncapped. It'll go faster for you. All right, now that I have the picture highlighted, let's go find some things. SK, oh, that's that 13x minus 5. KY is 2x plus 9. And then the entire distance from all the way from S to Y is 36 minus X. So I've highlighted the information and I've highlighted the picture. If you don't have highlighters, go get them off of my bookcase over there. I want to see color on your paper. So now the next step, take these and put them where they go on the picture, on the diagram. This is required. Okay? So we have that. So all we've done so far is highlight some pieces and then label them. We haven't done anything else. Okay? Haven't done anything else. All right, you ready? We're going to write some geometry. Okay, here we go. The yellow part, the pink part, and the green part. The yellow part was SK. The pink part is KY. And I need an equal sign, plus between those, and an equal sign after. And then the entire thing is SY. Everything should match. Okay? And when you're kind of doing this stuff on your own, it's kind of easy just to highlight all the things at one time. I'm going a little slow so you can keep up. All right, now this right here, do you see this step? That is the geometry. And that is required because that's the class you're in. So you have to write that statement. That is the first step there. Then I'm going to replace all of those letters with the algebra piece. So now we're going to write an equation under here. So instead of SK, I'm going to replace it with the 13x minus 5. And then I will replace KY with 2x plus 9. And then an equal sign. I'm just filling in the parts. That's all I'm doing. And then 36 minus x. Okay, so up to this point, all I've done is fill stuff in and highlight things. How do you feel about that? Okay, if you're like, it's a little boring, that's okay. It could be boring. But is it difficult? Okay, good. Now, do you remember on our little practice a minute ago, on this side here, I see 13 x's there, and I see 2 more right here. How many x's is that altogether? 13 and 2 more. Okay, so these two are 15x. Everybody see what I just did? Okay, what about, I have a -5 and I have a +9. If I combine those, what's that? 4. And then an equal sign, and then 36 minus x. Okay, which is older, 15 or -1? Okay, so 15's older. I'm going to do the opposite of this. This is minus x. That's what it looks like to you. What's the opposite of -x? Positive x. So write down that. It's going to look like addition. So out here, I'm going to write the word add. So see what we're doing there? Oh, it looks really familiar. These go away. What is 15 plus 1? Great. And then we have our +4, and then our equals, and then our 36. Okay. Can't touch that until the 4 goes away. What's the opposite of 4? So we're going to put that there, and we are subtracting right now, right? Okay, 4's go away. They add up to 0. 16x is what is left. Then our equal sign. And what is 36 take away 4? It is 32. Then, what's our final step? Divide. There's a multiplication there. So we're going to divide by 16 on both sides. I can't stress that enough. 16 divided by 16 is 1, so you're left with x. What is 32 divided by 16? 2. 16 plus 16 is indeed 32. But when you divide, 32 divided by 16 is 2. Okay, how do you feel about that? And I know I'm going slow. Okay, I want you to put your 2 right there because that's what you just found. Okay, SK is a part, KY is a part, and if I add the parts together, I get the whole thing, correct? All right, so SK, 13, and instead of x, I'm going to write a 2 minus 5. This is now GEMDOS that you're used to. You can use your calculator if you need it. What's 13 times 2 minus 5? If you're waiting, you should be typing in your calculator if you need it. Okay? So 26 minus 5 is 21. That's my yellow piece. All right, KY is the pink one. So 2, and instead of x, I'm going to put the 2, and then plus 9. 2 times 2 plus 9. Okay, and then the whole thing here. We have 36, and we're going to take away 2. What do you get? 30, what? 34. 34. Okay. Double check my work. Does 21 plus 13 add to 34? Look, this is now old school math right there. Okay? Yeah? All right, I went through that pretty slow. Do you mind if I move a little faster? Okay, so over here, this is what we're going to do. First things first, highlight your picture. Okay. This word is really important. What does that mean? That what's equal? If this is the middle point, what does that mean for these two expressions? Which means what? They're equal. So I'm going to put a little equal sign like that. Midpoint is H. That means this side and this side are equal. Okay. I want two of these. And I want two of these. Let's put an equal sign in the middle because we're talking about midpoint. Okay, the geometry. I have to write this. Well, the first part, the yellow part, is GH. The second part, the pink part, is HI. That's the geometry. I just filled it in. Okay, now let's put the math in there. The GH side is 5x plus 2. And the HI side is 9x minus 10. Okay, so all I've done is highlight, and I wrote the geometry sentence, and then I filled it in. That's the geometry. That's 10th grade right there. The rest is Algebra 1, right? This whole lesson kind of feels like an Algebra 1 lesson. So, who's older, 9 or 5? 9 is older. I need 5 to move over there. 5 is positive. What's the opposite? Negative 5x here, negative 5x here. These two make 0. Bring down my 2, bring down my equal sign. What is 9 minus 5? 4. 4 x's. And then minus 10 comes down. So here I had to subtract. Okay. I can't touch the 4x until I get rid of 10. What's the opposite of negative 10? A positive 10. So what are we really doing? We're really adding. All right, these 10s make 0. So I'm left with 4x and then an equal sign. And what is 2 plus 10? 12. All right, last step. What are we going to do with that 4 right there? Very nice. We're going to divide. So write divide. Okay, 4 divided by 4 is 1, so that's x equals, and what's 12 divided by 4? 3. Okay, so do we know what the x value is? We sure do. Now, do you see this right here? A lot of students will not go back and read the question. They'll just solve for x and call it a day. But I'm going to need you to go back and double check. It says find GH. That's this part right here. So down here, this GH part, I'm going to take the 5x plus 2. And instead of x, I'm going to write a 3. And then plus 2. Well, what is 5 times 3 plus 2? 17. How do you feel about that? And do you know what that means? If this side is 17, what's the other side? 17. And if that's true, what is the entire distance? What is this entire distance? 17 here and 17 here. What's the whole distance? 34. Everybody see what I did? I just kind of added on a little extra. Okay. right, how you feeling so far? Yeah? Here's what I want to do. I don't want to do every single one of these examples that are left. I do want to move a little faster. So some big ideas before we get going. Part plus part equals the whole thing. If you have the whole thing, instead of adding, you have to subtract the part you know. Part known. And this will be part missing. If you're missing a part, you take the part you know and you subtract it from the whole thing. That's how you get your stuff. Okay? The other thing, write the geometry. And I can't stress this enough. If there are any words accompanying the question, please read it. Okay. Do you want to do the left or the right? The right. Okay, we're going to do this one here. Okay. So, that and that all together will give me that. You guys see what I just did? Okay, step one, I'm going to write the geometry. Are you ready? Okay, so I have CD, that's one part, plus DE, that's my other part. And if I add them together, so if I add these together, I get the big part, which is CE. Okay, you can still color code it if you want. Oh, that's pink, that's yellow, that's green. Okay. Now, fill it in. What do we know about CD? We know it is 14. DE, do we know what it is? No, give it an X. X marks the spot. It's a little treasure map. We're going to go find it. And then CE, look, do you see this bar right here and this bar right here and how that arrow goes all the way between them? So that entire distance is how much? 30. Okay, oh, that's nice and easy. What's the opposite of 14? Negative 14. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So I am subtracting. All right. 30, take away 14? 16. So how much is DE? 16. Does 14 plus 16 equal 30? Okay, and you should check it before you move on. All right. Do you want to do left or right? Huh? Left. Okay. The whole thing. Green. Let's see. I'm going to have that. And I'm going to just grab a third color. You don't necessarily need a third one if you don't have it. Okay. Let's see if we can just do this, okay? What are our parts? Let's write our geometry. This part is first. What are we going to name this first part? NM. What are we going to name the second part? ML. What are we going to name the third part? LK. All right, so we have part plus part plus part. We're adding these together. They have to all equal the whole thing. What is the name of the entire thing? NK. All right. How was that? Just writing the parts down. Okay, let's go fill in the parts. NM. Write an X minus 6. And then a plus sign. What's ML? 9. What's LK? Fantastic. What is NK? 23. Now, if you need to go back through and double check and put some, highlight some things, you can do that. Okay, if you're like, well, I just need to double check before I do all that work, that I have everything in the right spot. Okay, now, what things are alike? We have x's. I have one x here. You can put a 1 if you need it. And I have 2 x's right here. How much is 1 plus 2? So I'm going to write down 3x. So basically, I'm going to combine like terms. Combine like terms. CLT. I'm abbreviating. The next thing, I have a negative 6 and a positive 9 and a negative 19. Somebody add that in their calculator. What is it? Negative 16? Do we agree? Yes, I do agree. And then equals, and then 23. Okay, did I combine all the pieces that need to be put together? Yeah. So it's kind of like you put the Legos all in one bucket. You put the crayons all in one bucket. You put the blocks all in one bucket. You group them. You've been doing it since kindergarten. All right. Continue on. Can you touch 3x? No. What about right here? Okay. We're going to add 16 here and add 16 here. Yeah? Okay. So that goes away. What are we left with? 3x equals what? 39. What do you do with the 3? Okay, so we're going to divide. Okay, so what's our final answer? X equals how much? 13. Now, in order to come back up here, I want you to write NM and ML and LK and NK. All right, we'll just write all the pieces down. We already know ML is 9, and we already know that NK is 23. We have to find NM. So we have 13 minus 6. What is that? Guys, you have calculators. What's 13 minus 6? You can use them. 7. All right, what is 2 times 13, take away 19? What number is that?
7.
Okay, so if you add 7 plus 9 plus 7, if you add those 3 numbers together, do you get 23?
Yes.
Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. All right, let's pause for a moment and let's take a look at the handout that you got really fast. I think I'm going to have you do some of it right now and some of it later. Okay. Do you see this right here on our notes? Flip back to the beginning of your notes. You see that right there? Okay, you see this? So we draw a picture and then we write, this is called a postulate. That's what this is. That is what you're going to do right here. Okay? Everybody got that? That'll be your job in a minute. Okay. Do you see this one here? So it says, by the way, it's not saying middle, it's not saying midpoint, it's saying between, yes? Yes or no? Okay. So, you see these pictures right here? Those pictures right there? You have to draw a picture Here, I'm going to show you what it looks like. It says C is between A and E. That means right here. It's somewhere in that middle. So you write A here and E here, and then you put C anywhere you want. And then look at the information. So for each problem, draw a picture. Did I just do that? Yes. And the information given. So I have to put this stuff on here. AC is 24, so I have to put 24 here. Please stop. I have to put CE right here. What is it asking me to find? It's asking me to find AE, so I have to find all of this. Do I know what that is? It's an X, right? Is that true? Okay, so the first step is to do what? What do you have to do first? Look right here. Write the geometry and then fill it in and then work it. So between now and when the bell rings, I want you to do these 4 questions. That is your job. Okay, if you finish those 4, I want you to go on. Just keep going. But I want those 4 at a minimum completed before the bell. I'll let you know when to pack up, but you guys did a great job today. Okay? Did I go too fast today? Or just right? Okay?